Starbucks. What can I get started for you today?
Can I get a chai latte tea?
A chai tea latte. You want it iced?
No, hot.
What size?
Tall. With
Anything else?
With oat milk, please.
Anything else?
No, that's it.
All right. Everything on the screen looks good.
Yep.
You can pull up.
Slow down there. I would go with the Wantagh instead to avoid that delay. Looks like we have a northbound crash on the Cross Island Parkway now, just north of Northern Boulevard. More delays at the inbound Georgia, at least a solid 20 minutes. Andre Farrow, WCBS Traffic Center.
Mostly sunny and warmer today. Still very nice with low humidity. We'll see a high of 84, low to mid-70s out along the coast. Then tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies with a low down to 64.
57 degrees at Teterboro Airport, 64 at Jones Beach and White Plains, 61 degrees, and Hudson Square, 62 sunny.
When you need to know why, when it matters most. This is WCBS 880 News.
A former Patchogue nurse pleads guilty in the death of an anti-gang activist. Nearly 3 dozen pro-Palestinian protesters are arrested, trying to break into the Brooklyn Museum. Former President Trump vows to appeal his hush money trial conviction. Michelle Troconis gets 14 years in prison in the Jennifer Dulos killing in Connecticut. Steer clear of the Queensbound BQE. It's closed from Atlantic Avenue to Sand Street all weekend. The Mets beat Arizona 10-9. The Mets will retire Darryl Strawberry's number 18 this afternoon. The Yankees top the Giants 6-2. This is WCBS and WCBS FM HD2 New York. Good morning. I'm Tanya Hansen, 8 o'clock.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Stacey Lynn. Donald Trump's conviction in his election interference trial isn't sitting well with the former president. We begin with CBS's Natalie Brown.
Well, you're going to be appealing this scam.
A historic conviction that Trump argues will help him on the campaign trail. His campaign claims it's raised nearly $53 million in the 24 hours after the former president was found guilty of 34 felony counts.
The American principle that no one is above the law was reaffirmed.
Trump says he's ready to appeal. Legal analyst Jessica Levinson on what the judge will be looking for.
What he would need is something that is bad enough that it's worth overturning the verdict. And that is a high standard because the criminal justice system likes finality. They don't like to go back and second guess what a jury has said unless there's a really good reason.
Sentencing is set for July 11th. President Biden says Israel has made a proposal for a ceasefire. CBS's Ed O'Keefe tells us what the deal includes.
A 6-week ceasefire, new direct talks about a permanent ceasefire between Israel and Hamas, the withdrawal of Israeli military forces from Gaza population centers, the release of elderly and female hostages by Hamas in exchange for hundreds of Palestinians in Israeli custody, and passage of at least 600 trucks a day with humanitarian aid into Gaza amid concerns that famine and other humanitarian disasters are underway in that region.
South African voters have rejected the party that freed them from apartheid. The African National Congress got less than 50% of the vote for the first time in 30 years. Well, it looks like all systems are go today to launch Boeing's Starliner to the International Space Station. CBS's Manuel Bojorquez is at Kennedy Space Center.
A successful mission would clear the way for Boeing to begin annual crew flights to the space station, giving NASA another option in addition to SpaceX for ferrying its astronauts to the orbiting lab. On top of all of
the delays, Starliner's problems have cost Boeing more than $1 billion to fix. Still, hopes are high that the ship is finally ready to fly.
If you're heading to the beach in Florida this summer, beware of sharks.
Florida leads the world as the shark bite capital, with 938 unprovoked shark attacks since records were first kept back in 1837. Daytona Beach has the most, with 351 attacks. The state has the longest coastline in the continental U.S.
And Walgreens is now lowering prices on 1,300 items in its stores, from vitamins to hand cream. The move comes after other major retailers like Target recently announced cuts as well. This is CBS News.
And now, home, auto, boat. Progressive protects them all. Learn more about bundling at Progressive.com. Now more than ever, it matters where you get your news. New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut depend on WCBS 880 News.
64 degrees, sunshine in Hudson Square, a mostly sunny day with a high reaching 84 this afternoon. Low to mid-70s along the coast. Good morning. I'm Tanya Hansen, WCBS News Time 803. A former Long Islander is pleading guilty to criminally negligent homicide in the death of an anti-gang activist 6 years ago. Anne-Marie Drago ran over Evelyn Rodriguez on the same street in Brentwood where Rodriguez's 16-year-old daughter was killed by MS-13 2 years earlier. Drago was apparently incensed that Rodriguez put up a memorial to her daughter in front of Drago's mother's house. Drago was tried twice for the killing. His conviction was overturned on appeal. In the second trial, a mistrial was declared after the jury deadlocked. The Suffolk DA had planned to try her before she guilty. Under the plea deal, Drago will be sentenced to 1 to 5 years probation in August. At least 34 arrests in the museum as pro-Palestinian protesters tried to force their way inside as hundreds rallied outside. CBS 2's Derek Waller was there yesterday.
Museum employees struggled to keep the doors locked as protesters stormed the building. Hundreds of pro-Palestinian demonstrators descended around 4:30, scaling the building and unfurling this giant banner from the roof. More demands that the museum divest from Israel amid the ongoing war in Gaza. Police officers clashed with demonstrators making arrests. A museum spokesperson tells CBS 2 they didn't call the NYPD, but said protesters damaged artwork on their plaza before entering the building and physically and verbally assaulting their public safety staff.
The protest comes ahead of tomorrow's 60th annual Israel Day Parade on Fifth Avenue. An internal threat assessment obtained by CBS New York says the event may be an attractive target for an act of mass violence or disruption. Hundreds of students across the 5 boroughs walked out of school in a pro-Palestinian protest yesterday. The students are demanding an end to what they call the repression against students and teachers for pro-Palestinian speech and a rejection of definitions that conflate anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism. Just days before former President Trump is expected to become the Republican nominee for president next month, he faces sentencing on July 11th on his felony conviction for falsifying business records. Trump vowed to appeal as he slammed the trial as unfair yesterday.
Post-trial, Donald Trump acknowledged his limitations, but doesn't have to like them.
I'm under a gag order, nasty gag order, where I've had to pay thousands of dollars in penalties and fines, and was threatened with jail.
Nevertheless, he disparaged the judge, the Manhattan DA, and of the risk of taking the stand in his own defense.
In other words, you could go into every single thing that I ever did. Was he a bad boy here? Was he a bad boy there? And my lawyer said, what do you need to go through? And all you wanted to do is testify simply on this case. Because I would have loved to have testified. To this day, I would have liked to have testified.
Trump says his lawyers will appeal, and they'll be preparing for sentencing next month. Will Trump speak on his own behalf then? I'm Julia Papa, WCBS 880.
Part of the Queenstown BTU is closed for repairs this weekend. It's closed from Atlantic Avenue to Sands Street until 4 a.m. Monday. More on how it impacts travel coming up in Traffic and Weather Together on the 8th. WCBS News Time 807.
A tennis coach is sought in Darien, Connecticut to analyze player performance, instruct professionals and amateurs in game strategies and techniques, develop training regimens, conduct private and group lessons and clinics. Send resume to Weburn Country Club, 410 Hollow Tree Ridge Road, Darien, Connecticut, 06820. Again, send resume to Weburn Country Club, 410 Hollow Tree Ridge Road, Darien, Connecticut, 06820.
Hi, this is Stu Leonard. My wife Kim and I lost our 2-year-old son Stewie to a drowning accident. You know what we learned? If everyone is watching, no one is watching. Don't take your eyes off your child. When Kim and I are around the water with our grandsons, our phones are down and our eyes are open. Be safe. Phones down, eyes open. Learn more at StewieTheDuck.org.
WCBS News Time 8:08. Traffic and weather together every 10 minutes on the 8 train. For us, Andre Ferro.
Brutal delays in Queens if you're traveling eastbound, westbound, all around town, over by the Clearview. I told you the road work, and it's really a bad delay right now. Plus, the northbound Cross Island Parkway has a crash north of Northern Boulevard. Wow, just avoid that by using the Grand Central if you're driving a regular car, and look out for the long-term road work by Alley Farm Park and the Clearview as you travel by the Grand Central Parkway. You don't want to go too fast through there. Now, the closures out there between the area of the Atlantic Avenue up to the Manhattan Bridge. So they're going to divert you off at Atlantic Avenue. The traffic right now is bumper to bumper from the Prospect up to Atlantic Avenue. It does take a while getting off of the BQE and the local street traffic over by Atlantic Avenue, the traffic lights, and then you have to go all the way over towards Hillary Street. That's going to be a process to say the least. Now, the southbound Harlem River Drive is bombarded with delays as well. There's that roving road work heading down towards the FDR. Go with the West Side Highway. More delays on that northbound Egan heading up towards Van Cortlandt Park. So go with the Henry Hudson Parkway or even the Bronx River Parkway will do you better. Inbound George, it's a solid 20 as you're starting to pick up some of that road work. Still working on some residual delays in Connecticut, northbound 95 by exit 21, where we had an overturned vehicle. We do have problems on the northbound Meadowbrook as well, heading up towards Penn State Turnpike with an incident there. Andre Ferro, WCBS Traffic Center.
And taking a look at weather for today, sunny and warm, still very nice with low humidity out there. We'll see a high of 84 with low to mid-70s out along the coast. Then tonight, clear to partly cloudy skies with a low down to 64. And for the day tonight, sunshine mixing with some afternoon clouds with a shower around late in the day, well north and west of the city. We'll see a high again of 84 with low to mid-70s along the coast. Those showers will become more likely Sunday night, and then into Monday morning, a lingering shower around, otherwise a warm day with clouds giving way to some afternoon sunshine. We'll see a high of 79. And Tuesday, shaping up to be a nice day with some sunshine out there, a high of 77. And for Wednesday, another dry day with sun and clouds, a high rate around 76. There is a chance for showers to return at night on Wednesday. And now, Allergy Alert forecast sponsored by ENT and Allergy Associates, ear, nose, throat, and allergy care close to home. Today's outlook is medium to high, with grasses and oaks being those predominant pollens.
Meteorologist Brandon Buckingham, thank you. WCBS News Time 8:10. 5 years after cops in Connecticut determined that a missing New Canaan mother of 5, Jennifer Dulos, was killed by her estranged husband, 49-year-old Michelle Triconis was sentenced in Stamford yesterday for helping him cover it up.
Total effective sentence, 20 years, execution suspended after 14.5 years, 5 years probation.
That was Judge Kevin Randolph reading the sentence. Triconis, who was convicted in March, cried as she spoke at sentencing.
Your Honor, I am deeply saddened by this tragedy that has affected so many lives. I am a person of profound faith, and I pray and will continue to pray for those who suffer and still suffer.
Her husband at the time, her boyfriend at the time, Fotis Dulos, killed himself a year after Jennifer Dulos disappeared, and he was charged. Triconis' attorney says she'll appeal. The Queen's trial is set for tomorrow in Dallas. 37th Avenue from 89th Street to 75th Street. David Kilnick, president and founder of the LGBT network, says there will also be a festival.
We're going to have a real good time marching in the parade, and then a huge
concert and festival that takes place following the parade.
The New York City Pride March will be held June 30th. It's the biggest pride parade in North America. Pride Month is kicking off this weekend. Events include a tour of New York City that narrates the history of the Stonewall Uprising, a lineup of queer and trans artists at the Brooklyn Museum, and the start of Pride Summer Movie Night at Rockefeller Center. Suffolk County has been processing food stamp applications faster. County data shows the on-time rate for SNAP applications was 84% in April. Officials say the number of overdue applications had been reduced. About 125,000 Suffolk residents are eligible for the assistance program. If you get a text message about outstanding balances on your Easy Pass account, ignore it. It's a scam.
The FBI and New Jersey Easy Pass say thousands of drivers have been getting messages claiming a recent trip through a New Jersey incurred a sharp extra charge and that the balance should be settled to avoid late fees. It includes a link to Easy Pass, but it's not the real website. Officials say you should never click on links that are sent to you randomly and go to the Easy Pass website directly to check whether you might have an outstanding balance. Steve Scott, WCBS 880 News.
WCBS News Time 8:13. The happy times come in many colors. One that leaves you feeling refreshed. Something that gets you all fired up. Or gives you the space to chill. Whatever your color, bring happiness home with CertaPro painters. And make your happy place your home. CertaPro painters. That's painting happy. Get started today at CertaPro.com. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Landmark College, the college for students who learn differently, offers summer programs to help high school and college students unlock their learning abilities and discover how their unique thinking makes a difference. Landmark College offers programs beginning in July for rising high school juniors and seniors, recent high school graduates, and current college students. If you're struggling to find academic success, or you're preparing for the transition to college, apply today at landmark.edu/summer.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With MyLowe's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you hit Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change. Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider and will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper, and you can get it online? Go to Hayes.com.
Provinces. Officials advise people who encounter the balloons not to touch them because they hold filthy waste and trash. South Korea's Yonhap news agency reports that judging by smell, the filthy waste seems to be filth indeed. It seriously threatens the safety of our people, said a statement from the South Korean military. The history of balloon campaigns runs back to the 1950s when the BBC says both North and South released balloons across the border stuffed with propaganda haranguing the other side. In 2016, North Korea sent some balloons into the South packed with cigarette butts, toilet paper, and trash that South Korean police called hazardous biochemical substances. In recent years, South Korean activists have floated balloons into North Korea to carry news reports, money, and food, including choco pies, a popular treat banned in North Korea, where the UN says almost half the population doesn't get enough to eat. South Korea's parliament passed a law in 2020 banning the propaganda launches, but the law was overturned by South Korea's constitution.